Welcome to English Corner, Chittagong Engineering University School and College section. Hello, my dear students. How are you? I think and I hope you are okay. I am also alright. In this pandemic situation, we are compelled by the circumstances to conduct online classes. I hope you will join the classes in time. We have already published the routine and I have already published the syllabus which was designed for you. Can you remember? We started your class on 1st July 2019. In the meantime, we appeared at the first term examination and several monthly tests. Now you have to prepare yourself for the first year final examination. So to complete the syllabus that we could not complete before the closure of the institution, we shall try our level best to complete the incomplete syllabus in the consequent online classes. So here this is Mohammad Gofran, Assistant Professor in English. I again welcome you to this corner. Today I shall conduct a class for the students of first year English first paper, Unit 1, Lesson 3. By this time we have completed Unit 1, Lesson 1 and 2. Today, Lesson 3. Lesson 3 is about two women. Who are the two women? One is Valentina Tereshkova and another one is Kalpana Chawla. So who are these women? We should know about this woman first. Before going to the text, I want to give you an idea, preliminary idea about these two women. Both Valentina Tereshkova and Kalpana Chawla made history by traveling to the outer space. Valentina was from Russia and Kalpana was from India. They were both engineers. However, Valentina excelled in skydiving. She was also skilled in parachuting. She was the first woman in the world to travel to the outer space. When Soviet Union decided to send a woman into the space, she was selected for this project from among more than 400 applicants. On the other hand, Kalpana Chawla, she was the first woman of Indian origin to travel to the outer space. After graduation, she moved to the USA and completed her master's in aerospace engineering. And she also completed her PhD on the same field. Valentina traveled to a space boarding. Valentina underwent physical troubles in their spaceship, but still she orbited. Kalpana traveled by Columbia, but Kalpana died in a spaceship accident. So we have known about these two women in short, then we shall know about them elaborately. See these two women, Valentina Tereshkova and Kalpana Chawla. Learning outcomes. What are the learning outcomes? What shall you learn from this lesson? You'll be able to define some new words. Then you will know about the earlier space mission. And you will know about two women who travel to space. This may be the outcomes of this text. Before going to the text, we shall try to be familiar with some new words so that we can understand the text easily. So before going to the text, I am giving you some new words, vocabulary. First one is isolation. I think you are very much familiar with the word in this pandemic situation. Isolation means to be separated. See the picture, separation. The act of separating somebody or something. Then centrifuge, a machine. A machine with a bird that spins around to separate substances. Then you see spacecraft. What is a spacecraft? This is the picture. A vehicle that travels in space. Then see launch. Very careful about this word. Not launch. Launch. Somebody may make mistake here. It is launch. Launch means to start an activity, to begin an action. And then cosmonaut. What does it mean? This is a picture, cosmonaut, an astronaut, an astronaut from the former Soviet Union. Weightlessness. Weightlessness, see the picture, weightlessness. Feeling light in the space. NASA. National Aeronautics and Space Administration, USA. Now the text. Look at the text. First, we shall know about Valentina Tereshkova. Valentina Tereshkova was born in the village Maslenikovo, Tutaevsky district in Central Asia. Tereskova's father was a tractor driver and her mother worked in a textile plant. Tereshkova began school in 1945 at the age of 8, but left school in 1953 and continued her education through distance learning. I repeat, distance learning. See, now the class I am conducting, this is we call distance learning, online class. So distance learning is not a new term. It was practiced earlier and it is being practiced now. And in Bangladesh Open University practices this program. She became interested in parachuting from a young age and trained in skydiving at the local aero club, making her first jump at age 22 on 21st May 1959. At the time, she was employed as a textile worker in a local factory. It was her expertise in skydiving that led to her selection as a cosmonaut. After the flight of Yuri Gagarin, the first human being to travel to outer space in 1961, the Soviet Union decided to send a woman in space. On 16 February 1962, Proletaria Valentina Tereshkova was selected for this project from among more than 400 applicants. Tereshkova had to undergo a series of training that included weightless flights, isolation test, centrifuge trace, rocket theory, spacecraft engineering, 120 parachute jumps, and pilot training in MiG-15 UTI jet fighters. So this is the brief life sketch of Valentina Tereshkova. We have learned about her birthplace, her date of birth, her education, and her activities. Now, we shall know about Kalpana Chawla. See, who is Kalpana Chawla here? Kalpana Chawla. She's the Kalpana Chawla from our area, that is India, our neighboring country. Who is Kalpana Chawla? Kalpana Chawla was born in Karnal in India. She completed her schooling from a senior secondary school of Karnal. She is the first Indian born woman and the second person in space from this subcontinent. After graduating in aeronautical engineering from Punjab Engineering College, India in 1982, Chawla moved to the United States the same year. She obtained her master's degree in aerospace engineering from the University of Texas in 1984. Later, she did her PhD in aerospace engineering in 1988 from the University of Colorado. Determined to become an astronaut even in the face of the Challenger disaster, 1986, that broke about 73 seconds into its flight, leading to the deaths of its 7 crew members, Chawla joined NASA in 1988. She began working as a vice president where she did computational fluid dynamics, that is CFD research, on vertical takeoff and landing. In 1991, she got US citizenship and started her career as a NASA astronaut in 1995. She was selected for the first flight in 1996. She spoke the following words while traveling in the weightlessness of space. "You are just your intelligence." She had traveled 10.67 million miles, as many as 250 times around the earth. So this is the short life sketch of Kalpana Chawla. Now we shall come to the evaluation. In these two texts, what similarities we have found here? These both women are engineers. Both of them are astronauts. Both of them are doctorate degree holders. Both of them made history, and both of them traveled to outer space. These are the similarities between these two women. And I can mention here that in our country, you see, two women who have made the history. Our Honorable Prime Minister, she is a woman. And Honorable Speaker in the Parliament, she is a woman. These two women you can see in our country. Once, when I was a student, I read a poem of 16th century maybe, written by Alexander Pope. The name of the poem was The Princess. In that poem, the poet mentioned that, I want to quote a line, "Man for the field, woman for the hearth. Man for the sword and the needle for she." That means, here the poet mentioned that man for the sword, that is, the man will fight with sword in the field. Woman cannot. And he said also, women for the hearth. Women will go to the kitchen room, they will cook food for the family members. And he said, man for the field, woman for the heart. Why? Man for the field, woman for the heart. And man for the sword and the needle for she. The women, they will remain inside their walls, inside their home, and they will be busy with their needles. They will not go outside. It was the ancient belief. The poet here said that the woman cannot compete with the man. Now, these two women, Valentina Tereshkova, Kalpana Chawla, they have already proved that women can do what men can do. So in the same case in our country, our Prime Minister is woman. Our Honorable Prime Minister is woman. Our Honorable Speaker is woman. So they have made the history in our country. And then we can come to another point. Who was the first woman in the space? Who was the first woman? We have already learned. Valentina Tereshkova was the first woman in the space. And then do you know about the tragic end of Kalpana Chawla? Yes. Very sad. Kalpana died in a spaceship accident. And then, what is spacecraft? If I ask you the question, you can easily give answer. Spacecraft means spaceship. So, from these two texts, we have come to know about the challenging jobs of two women who accomplished this challenging works, challenging job, and they have proved that women can compete with men. They have the every capacity and capability to compete with men. So we have to forget our ancient belief. Women will remain inside the house and men will go outside the house. It is not true. Now I'll give you a homework. The homework is you have to write a summary on Tereskova and Chawla based on the information provided in the texts. So before going to this summary, you have to know how to write the summary. So far I can remember we practiced writing summary in the class. Now I'll give you a reminder about the writing of summary. In the summary writing, the original text is usually cut to about 1/3 in your own English. You have to mention only the main ideas, but you cannot give any example there. You cannot repeat any ideas or words there, or you cannot give any quotation over there. So you have to write the summary. You have to make these two texts into one text, and you have to mention only the main ideas without citing any example, without having any repetition of the words or incidents, and without having any quotation. I think it is clear to you, my dear students. Long time you are sitting at home. You are just spending time idly. Now there is no time to sleep. Miles to go before I sleep, miles to go before I sleep. Can you remember the poem? I told you several times in the classroom. You have to do a lot of works. You have to prepare for this challenging world. So you have to prepare for the forthcoming first year final examination. So please do the home tasks. Every class we shall give you some home tasks and you'll prepare them in the next classes, that is after opening of the institution. I shall check each and everybody this home tasks. I can remember. Our next class will be on my class will be I will conduct the class on unit 6 adolescence, which remain incomplete, and then from second paper we shall also practice grammatical items, writing upset, inshallah. And if you become very much active, and I shall recommend you to be proactive to prepare yourself for the forthcoming first year final examination. Whatever it might be, you have to prepare yourself. The pandemic situation or any other disaster will come. No problem. You have to face them. This is a challenge for you. So, prepare yourself. Please don't sleep. Wake up. Thank you very much, my dear students. Thank you all. See you again, inshallah. I will meet you in the next class.